On the 25th of January 2019, a remake of Resident Evil 2 was released for the PC, PS4 and Xbox One. The game came full to the brim with outstanding graphics and jump scares, so well and truly planned that whenever a new threat would jump out at both you and the player, it made the old school RE games feel like a stroll through the park with the Care Bears. Of course, without the original Resident Evil games, this remake would never have been greenlit. So, without further ado, let's load up the firearms, get into our RPD Stars uniforms, and step once again not just into the world of survival horror, but also into the eye of the storm, which is Raccoon City. A city on the verge of collapse. After a trucker gets too close to a person infected with the T-virus, you then take control of Leon S. Kennedy, who is a rookie police officer on his first day on the job. As you take control of Leon and proceed to investigate the gas station where you are, it isn't very long before you come to realize that not everything is as it seems or should be. When you encounter a few zombies inside the gas station and escape from the building, you end up running into a woman called Claire Redfield, who is a college student looking for her missing brother, Chris Redfield. After Leon saves Claire from ending up zombie chow, they both strike up a friendship and attempt to escape the city in an abandoned police car, but end up crashing in an accident. Upon disembarking from the useless car, they both agree that getting to the police station would be a far better idea and plan. Both set off in different directions in the hopes of reaching the RPD police station before things get any more out of hand. Controls. Triangle grants you access to your inventory, so you can use key and important items found throughout the game. The square button will reload your weapons. The big middle button on the PS4 control calls up the map, which is absolutely invaluable during the remake of Resident Evil 2. Plus the maps are a lot more fully detailed than ever before, and even have written down the exact locations on the map and exactly where the locations are. The left analog stick moves the player, and if you push forward enough on the left analog stick, you can make Leon or Claire run. L2 will aim your weapon. R2 will attack and open fire. X enables you to interact with things throughout your investigation, such as doors, key items, and many other places of interest. If push comes to shove, you can also open unlocked doors too, by way of pushing forward on the left analog stick. If you press down on the left analog stick and press the circle button at the same time, your character will turn 180 degrees. This 180 degree quick turn can be very helpful and handy if you have to get away from fast and deadly enemies in a hurry. This game will test your patience, your cunning, and your lateral thinking far more brutally than ever before. The graphics during gameplay are very breathtaking, and the darkened areas that you come across when forced to bring the torch into play really add to the fear, terror, and frightful opposition that lie in wait for you around every corner. The zombies are as lethal as the rest of the unpleasant individuals you are most likely to encounter. They can open doors, just like they could in the remake of RE1, and are even able to go up and down stairs. So try not to get overwhelmed or cornered, or the zombies, like any other enemy in the game, will take you out of the game in more ways than one, before you or Leon and Co. even know you're in it. Right, now I'm going to discuss a couple of things that I really like about this game. So let's get into it, people. 1. Giving Marvin a lot more to do. I really like and appreciate the fact that Marvin Branagh gets a lot more to do in the game than he ever did in the original Resident Evil 2. In the original game, you would encounter him in the wrecked office, and after a brief conversation with the badly injured officer, It locks the door from the inside to keep him from being able to get out and infect anyone else after he succumbs to the T-virus. In the remake of Resident Evil 2, Marvin gets a fair lot more to do than he ever did before. He pulls your character's butt out of the fire before you get ripped to pulp by zombies and helps you to escape into the main hall. He uses a laptop monitor, uses a camera to locate Claire. And on top of that, Marvin also gives you the combat knife, where in the original RE2, both Leon and Claire both started the game with a handgun and a Bowie knife as their default weapons many years ago. 2. The IV is not spitting poison. The IV enemies in RE2 are a lot less annoying and irritating to fight than they ever were before back in the day, as unlike their old school RE2 IV counterparts, they don't spit poison at the player in the remake of RE2, where in the original RE2 they did. However, do make sure that you pick up the chemical flamethrower before going with Ada to the labs, called Nest, deep under Raccoon City. For if you miss or forget to retrieve the chemical flamethrower, you won't be able to kill any of the IV enemies that get in your way. If you try to attack an IV with normal weapons, like the shotgun or pistol, you will be able to shoot the bulbs off of them, sure, but it will be an unnecessary waste of ammo, and will only delay them for a total of exactly 30 seconds before they have at you again. Should they get too close to you, they will open up their Venus flytrap with a mouth and bite your head to buggery with a megaton of volatile pressure. Okay, now I'm going to discuss quite a few things that I think kind of hold the remake of RE2 back. So let's dive into this now again, shall we? 1. The knife. Okay, so the knife in the game is supposed to help to conserve ammo only when there is no other way or option at the player's disposal in getting rid of certain enemies in game or getting past them. However, this doesn't strike me in any way or form as a reliable defense item or weapon to assist a player on their road to victory, taking into account what the game throws at you. Not only do you get a stupid quick time event every time you use the knife on a zombie, but if you do use it to avoid taking damage, you can only attack with it once during a quick time event, and once the damn thing is then embedded inside a zombie's chest, you then have to try and kill the sod, hope and pray that he goes down and stays there before you run out of ammo, and then pick the knife back up again from the zombie's now dead corpse. Then I kid you or not, there is something that basically implies that the knife in the Resident Evil 2 remake can only be used a limited amount of times before its durability runs out, making it absolutely useless. Bloody hell, what a fussy game. Really? You being serious? Honestly, whose flip down blood excuse for an existence of an idea was it to have frickin' weapons, or more specifically a knife with durability that falls apart at the seams sooner rather than later, as good as whenever it feels like it? For crying out loud, last I checked, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I was doing a review of the remake of Resident Evil 2, for frick's sake, not blooming Shadow Run. Mr. X turns up in both the A and B scenarios. I just don't see the point of that, as by having Mr. X show up in both stories, there is no variety at all. Plus, he can be quite a massive jump scare by himself, and a big wrench in any player's progress if a gamer isn't expecting to encounter him. Plus, Mr. X pretty much does Nemesis out of a job in RE3, considering he follows you all over the police station, and if he catches you, it will not be a pleasant experience. Cheap deaths. A cheap death in a game can be both irritating and annoying, and it doesn't get any more frustrating when it comes to the odd crawling zombie. If a downed zombie is playing possum or is crawling along, and you try to get past it, half of the time its grasping hands will clamp onto your character's leg, drag you down to the floor, and take a bite out of the player. That is immensely infuriating, as if you are on Red Dead Health, aka Danger, and a crawling zombie grabs your leg and pulls you to the ground, you're screwed. As an example of how stupid this is, I was on danger health condition after I fought and killed the final boss of the A scenario, aka Super Tyrant. I was making my way to escape in Raccoon City aboard the train when I got grabbed and killed by a crawling zombie. And because of that nonsense, I had to fight the Super Tyrant all over again. I was so filled with rage and frustration at that cheap death that dared to impede my progress that I barely resisted the urge to put my frickin' fist through the teething. So try to have less cheap deaths in future than more, Capcom. In conclusion, the Resident Evil saga and video game franchise has come a very long way, with its popularity based upon the old school games themselves, as well as novelizations written by S.D. Perry, and many nostalgic memories for many gamers and fans of the series. And although there is a lot that this game got right, there are also questionable decisions and choices set in motion by the developers of this game that can both make or break the experience as fast as look at it. I rate the Resident Evil 2 Remake 2 out of 10.